Hi guys, it's me, Tracy Fortun, back again. I've had some interest in knowing about the language that we use when we are doing dynamic addition and subtraction with the children. And so this video is for both students and parents. This will serve as a refresher or a reminder for our first and second grade students about using the golden beads to demonstrate dynamic addition and subtraction. And it will also serve as a place for parents to kind of see about the language that goes along with coaching a child through dynamic addition and subtraction, because most of our parents didn't go to Montessori school, and so they wonder if there is a magic way of explaining these terms. And parents, I think you'll see it harkens back actually to the way that you and I learned dynamic addition and subtraction, a lot of the same language. But, and feel free to use that language with your children. It is good for them to hear lots of different kinds of terms being used to describe what's happening. You're not going to ruin the experience for them by teaching them to carry over or to borrow. That is totally fine. But at school, we are also talking about it in other ways so that they're hearing a variety of terms used to describe these things that are happening. So this is very much what it would look like in the classroom. And keep in mind, some of our first graders are still using the golden beads every day for equations like this. Many of our first graders, and I believe all of our second graders, have moved off of the material for this type of work, probably for addition, maybe not for subtraction. So I don't expect you to be able to replicate this material at home. You could use anything that you can manipulate, buttons, beans, if you have beads laying around, anything fiddly like that, you could repurpose and make your own set of materials here. But it is not necessary, because you are also doing them a great service if you simply practice their simple addition and subtraction facts with them. So I would start with very small ones like 4 plus 4. Or 6 plus 2, and I would move from there to slightly more challenging addition facts like 3 plus 9, where they're going to make a 2-digit answer, and from there you could even go to things like 11 plus 12 or 13 plus 10. Same with subtraction. Start simple, 8 minus 5, move up to slightly more complicated like 13 minus 7, and keep going from there. And you'll find lots of resources available for those. Flashcards, apps, computer games. All of it is fine for learning addition and subtraction facts. So you could keep them very busy with those facts and not even worry about this right now. But for those folks that have asked that do want some help with this, I thought I would just go through a couple of equations the same way I would in the classroom, and you'll be able to hear that language that I'm using, okay? So here goes. My dynamic addition equation is 24 plus 18. And I've already set it up for us. So I have, for 24, I have 2 tens and 4 units. For 18, I have 1 10 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 units. And first I want to ask the students, what do we know about addition? Tell me, what is addition? And often they'll say adding. Yes, it's adding. Tell me more. What are we doing if we're adding? Hopefully they're saying, we put it together. Yes, that's addition. Addition is putting together. So where do we start? What category should I start with? Hopefully they said units. So yes, with addition, we always start with units. So I'm going to look at my units. I'm going to put them all together, and then I'm going to count and see how much I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What do I do when I have 10 units? Yeah, I'm going to trade them in for a bar of 10. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to take my 10 units, put them away, and take out my bar of 10. Now remember, this is special. This is our trade-in. So I'm going to put it up here in a special spot. Okay, And then I'm going to look at how many units we have left, and we have 1, 2. So in our units place, I'm going to record 2. 4 plus 8 was 12. We took 10 of those and traded them in for 110. And we had 2 units left, so that's what we record. Now let's look at our tens. So I'm gonna put them all together, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4 tens. We had 2 tens plus 1 10, but don't forget, we also had our trade-in. So we had another 10, so that made 4. Now, for a student who is totally off the golden beads, I would talk through it this way. Okay, we're adding here. What is adding? We talk about that. We start with units. I'm going to start with 4 plus 8. Yep, 4 plus 8 is 12, but we can't record 12 units. So we're going to take 10 of those units. Let's imagine those golden beads in our mind. We're going to take 10 of those units and trade them in for 110. So we're going to have to remember that when we get to the tens. We have 1 more 10. Okay. We had 12 units. After we trade 10 in, how many will be left? That's right, 2. Okay. Now, what do we have to remember about our tens here? Yes, we have 1 extra. We have a trade-in. So I have 2 plus 1. That's 3. Plus that extra 1. That's 4. So you'll notice I'm not making the little marks that I'm talking to your parents now. We all learned to make an extra little mark up here. You can do that. If you are working on this type of equation with your child and you feel that that would be helpful, go ahead and show it to them. I often do. Most of the students that have learned with the golden beads won't need that extra little mark. And so I only show it if I feel like it's going to be helpful to someone. Okay? All right, let's do dynamic subtraction. I'm going to use the same equation. I'm just going to turn it into a subtraction equation. So now because we're doing subtraction, well, let me ask you, what is subtraction? Hopefully your child is saying subtraction is taking away. Yes, exactly. We start with some, we get rid of some, and we see what's left. That's subtraction. So I'm going to start with 24. So let me go ahead and make 2 tens and 4 units. Okay, now where do we start with subtraction? Yes, we always start with units in subtraction. So my equation is telling me that I need to, in the units, I need to start with 4 and take away 8. Can I do that? No, I can't do that. I don't have enough units to complete this subtraction. What could I do to get more units? Hopefully somebody there is saying, you could trade in one of your tens. Yes, I could. So let me take one of these tens back to the bank over here and trade it in for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 units. Okay, so I have 10 units here plus 1, 2, 3, 4. I now have 14 units. Can I take 8 away from 14? Absolutely. So let's do that now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 I've taken away. And how many do I have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 left. Oh, good. I made my upside down 6 just fine. Okay, good. But we have to remember something important about our tens. Do I still have 2 tens? No, I don't. Remember, we traded one in. So how many 10s do I have left now? I only have 1 10 left, and I need to take one away. And after I take one away, I will have no 10s. Now, if your child does this equation and puts a 0 here, it's not wrong. If you notice that's happening in lots of places where it's going to get confusing, I will often say to them, well, we don't put zeros at the beginning of numbers because how old are you? You're 7? You're not 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 7, are you? No. We don't use the zeros at the beginning of numbers because, you know, numbers can go on and on and on to infinity. And if we had to put all those zeros in every time, it would take us a really long time to communicate about anything using numbers. So we don't usually put zeros at the beginning of numbers. If they do, you don't have to worry about it. It will not last forever. They won't keep doing it. But at first grade, it's usually not a correction I worry too much about. It just sort of takes care of itself. But hey, if you want to have that conversation, that's a good one to have. I find that the concept of 0 as a placeholder is better approached with an older 8-year-old or 9-year-old who has had a lot more experience with math. So don't frustrate yourself with that conversation, okay? So there you have it. You've heard me talk through 2 addition and subtraction equations. Again, if you want to add to that the language of carrying over or borrowing, you are not doing anything wrong, and your child will benefit from hearing multiple ways of talking through an equation like this. I would just, I wanted to provide this so that if you were finding it confusing or difficult, or you just weren't sure how to start, you now have my permission to go forward and enjoy adding and subtracting with your child. Thank you so much. We'll see you again soon.